Okay, here we go. We are doing mindset training for spiritual life coaches, alchemizing pain and emotional badassery. I like it. Okay, here we go. Go live. Okay, and I should make sure, got it. All right, hi, it's Crystal Lynn, and we are back with mindset training for spiritual life coaches. And today we're going to be talking about emotional badassery and alchemizing pain. So what do I mean by all that? Well, in order to be a badass butterfly spiritual life coach, okay, there's some responsibilities. We know from what we've done in this program in the beginning that the first responsibility is to be a spiritual badass. And we talked about that in depth last week, and we looked at how, your relationship with the divine feminine. We looked at your relationship with your soul and your pursuit of your divine life purpose. And we looked at your relationship with manifesting. Now, that last video I made, okay, it was long. It was a big process because I took you through the badass butterfly manifestation process. And if you haven't watched that yet, you can certainly go back and check it out. It's in the program curriculum and it's on YouTube. So it's there for you. But it's really interesting and it's really powerful. If you're willing to do all the steps, you will not only manifest your heart's desire, but you will set yourself up vibrationally to be a match to that thing you desire. And that's the most important part. Getting the things that you want, okay, that's exciting. Yeah, sure. But it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that you as an individual grow and expand into the person you need to be, not just to have the things that you desire, but also to maintain them, to take care of them, to conserve them, to proliferate more, right? So the manifestation process that I shared with you in the last unit was very much about getting you in the mindset to be able to take on the responsibility of being a spiritual life coach. Today, we are going to be looking at the next phase of badassery that you need in order to be a badass butterfly spiritual life coach. And that is emotional badassery. So what does it even mean to be an emotional badass, right? We know what it means to be a spiritual badass. You basically have to own your divine connection, right? You have to really be connected to the divine, and you have to know how to work the divine, because the divine will work you if you don't know how to work it, all right? So we learned that in the last unit. What does it mean to be an emotional badass? Well, for me, what you have gone through as a person, as a human, is a part of what makes you an emotional badass. The emotional pains and traumas, the heartbreak, the grief, the loss, the abuse, the neglect, all of those are very, very big challenges that you have gone through, or might have gone through some of them, not all of them, I hope. But you've experienced some very challenging emotional traumas and things, okay? You've gone through some emotional things. You've been challenged emotionally. How you deal with those challenges is either going to make you a badass or not. If you don't deal with your challenges, then you can in no way call yourself an emotional badass. Ignoring your emotions is not dealing with them. Actually, I'm wrong. Ignoring your emotions is one way of dealing with your emotions, but and it will give you some success in the short term. Coping mechanisms are a way of dealing with adverse situations in the short term. And I want to applaud you for your coping mechanisms. But that doesn't make you an emotional badass just because you know how to cope with something. As a matter of fact, if you are merely coping with something as opposed to addressing it, then I would say you're away from being badass. If you'll recall, a couple of weeks ago, I gave you a definition of badassery. And the definition said something to the effect of doing things that are formidable. And that basically means that you do things that are difficult. And ignoring your emotions is pretty hard, depending on how you feel. But what's actually formidable is confronting your negative emotions and then doing the hard work to release and to heal those negative emotions. And that's what's going to make you a spiritual or emotional badass. So as a life coach, and you've heard me talk about this before because I think it's really, really important. As a life coach, you need to have what's called authority, meaning you need to be an expert and you need not only to feel like an expert, but you need other people to see you as an expert. You need other people to respect you, and you need to be able to meet their expectations of being able to deliver transformation and healing. So your authority comes from your, oh my God, I'm sorry, there are these cute little French kids downstairs and they're really cute. And the little boy is going, oh, he looks like he's maybe 4 years old and he's going, oh, like, oh, kids, they're cute. So let me get back on track. And actually, while I'm distracted, let me just hop onto Facebook and see if anybody's watching, if there are any questions, if anybody wants any feedback, if anybody's giving me any feedback. All right. Okay. Boom. I don't have any questions in the comments, but at least I'm checking. I'm learning how to check. I'm feeling pretty proud right now. If you've got questions, please feel free to put them in the comments and I will check the comments and actually reply to your questions. All right. So as a spiritual life coach, you need to have authority because you need people to believe you and to trust you. Just like if you're watching this video, you probably have some level of confidence in me and what I'm saying and what I've done. For whatever reason, you believe that I have authority, okay? So I want to talk about what those reasons are, why you believe that I have some authority, okay? Number one, I've done the work to have authority as a spiritual life coach, but also as a business mentor. That authority has come from my experience and my years in the trenches. And I've literally been a life coach now for 10 years. And I've been a business person, okay, working in business since I was 15 years old, all right? And that's, let's see, I'm 50 years old, now 52. So that means I've been in business for 37 years in business. So I know some things. So when I speak about business, I sound like an authority because I am an authority. My years in practice has given me some authority. Now, for you as a new spiritual life coach, where do you get your authority? And this is the important question because you have to start somewhere. So in this week's lesson, I'm going to be talking to you about how to, in this week's unit, I'm going to be talking to you about how to gain authority as a spiritual life coach when you're brand new. Okay, so when I was brand new, I did not have any authority as a spiritual life coach. And honestly, I didn't know how to get it. When I graduated with my coaching certification, I was not taught about how to do authority. I had no idea. And the result is that it took me years of kind of running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to figure out like how to have that thing. I didn't even know what that thing was called. I just saw that other coaches who had more experience had that thing. But then there was me, and I saw other people who didn't have experience, but they had this confidence that radiated from them. And they had that thing, but they didn't have the experience. So it was really confusing for me. And it took me years to figure it out. And that's why when I created my certification program, and this is why I'm talking to you about it today in this mindset training, letting you know that there is hope for you. Even if you're brand new, you do have something on which you can build your authority. And I think you're going to like this. So today we're going to talk about the first thing. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the second thing, and then we'll talk about the third thing on Thursday. Today we're going to be talking about what I call alchemizing pain. So your authority as a spiritual life coach, and if you're new, your very first foundation for authority should come from the things that you already know and that you're good at. Now, this morning I was talking to one of the students who just enrolled in my certification program, and she was really cute. She said, "Crystal, now I would never do this, but how do I know who I'm supposed to coach? Like, what if am I qualified to coach 70-year-old white male veterans?" Right now, she's in her early 20s, young, beautiful, beautiful spiritual being, right? And she's like, should I be like, how do I know who to coach? And I said to her, look, war veterans who are in their 70s, you may not have a lot in common with them. But if spirit calls you to work with them, then spirit knows that inside you, you have some basis of authority. We just need to discover what that is. Okay. I just thought that was really cute because that's such a contrast, this young woman, who's like, what if I wanted to teach, old men? And I'm like, yeah, if spirit calls you to do that, you do it. But that's not necessarily happening in her case. And honestly, I don't see that happening where there's a big gap between the people that you're coaching and yourself. I have yet to see that, okay? But I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. And if it did come up, if you came to me and you're like, Crystal, I am called to do this thing, I would be like, all right, let's figure that out, okay? But most of us are going to gain our authority from things that we already know and we know really well. Well, for many of us, we are called to coaching because we have actually been in some kind of pain already in our lives, and we want to help other people. We have these giant bees that come in, and they're so big. I'm assuming that's a bee, but it comes in, it's got a huge hum. Anyway, we feel called to coaching partially because we've gone through pain and we have this urge to help other people. And because we've gone through things and we have so much empathy and compassion for people who have gone through the things that we've gone through, it's natural for us to want to extend ourselves out and to help people. So what I'm going to be talking about today and what's in the curriculum for today is this concept of alchemizing pain. So the things that you have gone through in your past, you have a choice, just like you have a choice about like what you what you do with your emotions. You have a choice about how you deal with your pain and your experiences from the past. You can ignore them, you can suppress them, you can deny them, you can do your best to forget about them. You can do all those things, okay? But as a spiritual life coach, it is really in your interest to take those experiences that hurt you in the past and then alchemize them, turn them into something of a higher value, a higher frequency, and something that is beautiful and useful. So alchemy, we use that term a lot, and many people have read the book by Paulo Coelho called The Alchemist. And that book was about a young man who was basically following his heart. And it took him around the world, and he found himself having some really deep and meaningful connections with people and learning deep spirituality by listening and intuiting and connecting, right? Really beautiful, beautiful story, life-changing story for me and for a lot of people. So I like to use the term alchemy when I'm dealing with pain, because what an alchemist does mystically is they take a base metal like tin, okay, or nickel. They take a base metal and they create alchemy with something of a higher vibration, and they raise that vibration of the base metal. Let's say they take the base metal and they have gold. The alchemy changes the base metal into gold without destroying the gold. So the gold raises the frequency of the base metal to gold. The base metal then becomes gold. And then you're rich, you're rich, you're rich. So easy. All you have to do is alchemy. Well, with alchemizing pain, what you do is you take your painful experiences of the past and you raise the frequency of them so that you are not a victim, you are not angry, carrying resentment, you're not stuffing them down, acting like those things that happened to you never happened, or you're in denial where they are affecting you, but you're just putting on a brave face so that you can get through your day. Those are all coping mechanisms, okay? Those are good temporarily, but that's not alchemy. That's not going to change the frequency of those things. And it certainly is not going to bring you into a higher frequency. So your job is to alchemize your pain, where you look at the experiences from your past and you see how you can really get them out of the muck and raise them, elevate them to the level of peace, joy, appreciation, gratitude, if you must, right? That is the process of alchemy. So I'm going to go into detail, well, I've gone into detail in the program curriculum as usual. So you can go there, do the reading on the curriculum page. And then of course, there is your workbook for this week. There is an article in the workbook, and there are questions to help you chew on this idea digest it, and use it. All right. So I'm going to just do a quick check-in here with Facebook and see if there are any questions. Thank you very much, Sarah. I really appreciate that. Sarah says, great video, heart, I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for the feedback. So let me just hop into the session very quickly, and I want to make sure that I share my screen. Let's see. All right, this is open. Okay, share screen. Boom. Okay, so this is the curriculum for this week, and our theme for this week is true authority. All right. And again, the point is that in order to be a successful life coach, you really must have authority. People must believe you. And if you are, a 20-year-old and you have never been to war and you've got something you want to offer 70-year-old war veterans, boy, you better figure out where your authority is going to come from, because I'm barely buying that right now. All right. So we want you to have true authority that comes from an authentic place with you. And as a life coach, we want to start with your own personal experience. Okay, so let me just give you a quick summary of what's in the program. You have your workbook for this week, which is a PDF, and you can write directly into it, remembering to save it. All right, save it first to your computer and then write in it. All right, this is just loading. So you have the PDF, the workbook. Let's see if it's open. Not yet. Our workbooks are pretty big. Okay, this is a 22-page workbook. All right, but that's because it's got your work for the whole week. It's got the articles in it. All right, so there's the article for this week for you to read, or for today, if you can get through it today. That's actually how it's supposed to go. But keep in mind, as you're doing this program, it's okay if you fall behind. You do not have to keep up and stress yourself out. That's not what this is for. The replay videos are there for you to watch later, so please do that. So you have the article, and then you have a couple of pages that are just blank so that you can write directly into these, put your notes, put your journal, make it your journal, however you want to do it. Okay, so there are the 3 articles for the three lessons that we have this week. All right. Right. So let me get back into the curriculum. So that is the workbook. And then you have your quote for the week. And this quote is, just like the butterfly, I too will awaken in my own time. I love that. And I love her look. She's just like, I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to wake up in my own time. And it's so important for us to embrace that, right? Especially because, we're trying to do the divine masculine, where we're setting goals and building our business and doing the work we need to do. But we need to also remember the divine feminine and relax and allow things to come, okay? And to trust that we are fully supported, right? So I love that quote. The next section, the next lesson is Alchemizing Your Pain. And as usual, I've got a little write-up about what we're going to be doing for this lesson. Okay, so you can read through that. And I've already talked to you about it, so I'm going to just skip that. And I'm going to go directly into the home fun, which we're going to use with your workbook. Yes, okay. So here's your workbook. And right, there we go. All right. So here's your home fun for this week. Or sorry, for today. All right, because we have 3 assignments this week. Don't stress. 3 assignments. It's okay. Take your time. I just have a lot that I cover. I know I give a lot of in-depth information, but the fact is, I know that you are using the information. Even if you don't get to all the exercises, you're still listening, you're watching the videos, you're getting it, you're learning it. You'll get to what you can with the curriculum, the coursework, But if you're able to at least watch the videos, you're at least receiving the information and you are processing it, right? And you'll be able to use it, okay? So read the article in the workbook. That's going to be the first thing to do. And then answer the questions. Answer these questions in the workbook. So your authority as a new coach especially is going to come from your past experiences. It's going to come from the things that you've gone through. Those are the things you know about. You have experience in those things. And if you've healed yourself or if you've overcome those things, that's a great foundation to start helping others. All right. So this is going to help you feel like you're an authority because you're staying in your lane and you're not going to make promises to heal someone in a way that you cannot heal them. So maybe what you start off doing as a life coach is not promising to heal and cure and blah, 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 but maybe what you're doing is providing support, you're providing insight, you're providing knowledge, you're providing depth of understanding, perhaps you're providing community, perhaps you're providing expansion. These are all powerful, wonderful things to offer. And when you can deliver on those kinds of things that will make people feel better, it will make them see themselves differently. When you can create small shifts in consciousness that people can relate to and understand, and you coach people to expanding what you've given them, right? That's the job of a coach. You coach people to expanding on the small bits, right? Because most of the time, if you give somebody something really big, they're not going to be able to use it beyond the few weeks that they are in it. Then, life is happening. The moon is shifting, the seasons are shifting, the schedules are shifting. They're not able to use it as much. So when you get in the habit of providing small, super valuable, small bits of information, and you dig deep with that information. So you don't go general and broad and you just put down little tiny roots. You give one wonderful, deep, and you go deep and profoundly with it. When you do that, you are providing life-changing change. Okay, you're providing life-changing information, life-changing systems. That is what I call staying in your lane, and that's really helpful. So the pain you've gone through is a great starting point. So for today's work, I want you to do a little alchemy on your own pain. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is identify 3 unresolved, emotionally painful events that you have experienced in your life. I want you to identify them, and I want you to write out the details of the trauma. And while you're doing that, I want you to pay attention to how you feel. This is going to let you know where you are on the healing with that particular trauma. If when you're writing it, you feel alive and you feel vibrant and you feel happy and you feel like look at what I've learned, okay, well, look at what I've overcome, then that means that you've done some really good healing. And that is showing you that you've got some great experience around healing that particular kind of trauma. Now, if you're writing out the trauma and you find yourself getting upset, triggered, angry, hot, sad, you're frustrated, I don't want to do this, this is hard, I don't know, why is she having me do this, I don't know what we're doing. You're seeing where there's some unresolved issues. It's coming up. You're doing the work. Bless you. All right. So pay attention to how you feel as you're writing out these traumas. Now, next step is to write down what emotions did you notice as you revisited those painful events. Did you feel sad? Did you feel lost? Did you feel scared? Did you feel panicky, anxious? Write it all down, okay? Next one, I want you to step outside of your perspective, okay? And see yourself objectively. So here you are, you're writing about these traumas, okay, and you're feeling your feelings. What I want you to do is stay connected to yourself, but step outside and see yourself from a different perspective. You're kind of doing coaching here for yourself, all right? So if I'm writing about, falling off of the bike, okay, and ruining my Christmas clothes, and I'm remembering that. And I'm feeling panic, disappointment. I love that outfit. The outfit is ruined. I feel pretty sad. I'm feeling some sadness right now. And disappointment is what I'm feeling. And I'm feeling my childhood self. I'm seeing my childhood self and the frustration, the utter frustration. Okay, I'm feeling it. I'm seeing it in my mind's eye. Okay, so now what you would do for this particular step is to step outside and look at yourself objectively and study yourself. So when I do that, what I'm seeing a woman who is feeling the need to nurture a young girl, a little girl, who did not get nurturing when she needed it. When I was that little kid, I was about 7 years old, and I was already disappointed that I had ruined my outfit. I was disappointed. And then I went in the house and my family all looked at me and they accused me of being a child. Oh, look at what you did. Oh, you're so stupid. Oh, you're so inept. You're incompetent. You make bad decisions, right? So that was their response to a child who was learning how to ride her bike, and on Christmas Day went out for a bike ride and fell down. So there was no nurturing, like, hey, are you okay? Oh, you cut your hand. Oh, your knee is cut up. So there's just like so when I step outside of myself, when I'm inside myself, I'm seeing this as a subjective thing. I'm in it and I'm upset, and I'm upset, I'm frustrated. When I step out, I can see, oh, this is a woman who needs to receive the nurturing she didn't get, and she needs to give that nurturing to her inner child who did not receive it. So I guarantee you tonight I will be going back, because my inner child revealed herself just now. So tonight I will go, and my child and I will sit down together. I will nurture her and let her know that it's okay, that she went out and had fun, and outfits are replaceable, and I'm gonna get her a new outfit. We live in Paris. We are getting a new outfit for my girl, okay? Sorry, I'm gonna check in with questions just because I should be doing that. I should go over here to Facebook and see if there are any questions or comments. Hey, Jessica, nice to see you, friend. All right, gonna hop back here. Okay, so stepping outside yourself, getting that perspective. What are these emotions showing you about yourself? I want you to write all of this down in your workbook, okay? For each unresolved trauma, what are you being called to release? So you need to ask yourself, what is it that this trauma is coming up? I'm feeling triggered by it. What is it that I need to release in order to move forward in my life? Okay, write that down. Next question, for each unresolved trauma, how are you being called to grow? And there's a difference. What you release is one thing. I need to let go of my pain. I need to let go of my resentment toward my family because they weren't nurturing people. I need to let go of that, okay? But there's also an expansion that needs to happen. So what am I being called to expand? Obviously, I'm being called to expand self-nurturing and attention to my inner child, but there's something else. And this is just kind of me doing this work right here on the fly. But one of the things that was in my inner child when I did a check-in with her just now is that I said clothing is replaceable, and she said, no, they are not. They are not replaceable. When it's sold out, it's sold out, and I may never get another light blue sweatshirt and a pair of light blue bell-bottom pants again. So how am I being called to expand? The expansion for me is, number one, don't bullshit my inner child. Okay, don't do that. Don't invalidate and don't act like she's dumb. Okay, don't tell her lies and expect her to suck that up. Okay. The other thing is that because this work we do with with our inner child is in the land of the ethereal, okay, the mental, it's thought energy, I can give her a new outfit. And you know damn well I'm going to give her a new outfit, okay? She's correct in that, yes, if we were in the three-dimensional stores, we might go in there and there won't be an outfit, but I'm making her an outfit, okay? I'm gonna make that sweater myself, okay? I'm letting her know that there are ways. So the expansion for me is understanding that I have the power to create what it is I need to create so that I can feel happy and joyful, all right? Next question. When you look and see the big picture of your life, how have these three traumas advanced you down the path to your divine life purpose? So obviously for me, I'm a life coach and my job is working with people and their inner children. So clearly, clearly this is advancing me. You need to see how it's advancing you down your path. You are also going to be a life coach if you're not already, okay? How is it advancing you? For me, it's inner child and working with that ethereal energy and power, being able to take responsibility and knowing that I have the power to create whatever it is I desire. It's really important for me. Okay, so you see what's important for you. If you were an alchemist, what would be your formula for transforming base emotions into gold emotions such as joy, bliss, peace, or unconditional love, right? So that is what I want you to explore. How do you change base emotions into high vibrational emotions? How do you change base experiences into high vibrational experiences? All right, write it out. This is a part of your process as a coach. How would resolving these three traumas increase your true authority as a spiritual life coach? Now, this is very much for you to explore. I'm just going to give you an example. By resolving this trauma with my inner child, number one, it's giving me more inner authority, right? The more I heal myself, the more I transform myself, that helps me transform other people. By working with this inner child, I'm getting the experience of working with an inner child in this particular circumstance who has these particular needs. That is giving me experience. I can certainly pass that on to my own students who are learning how to be coaches, but also to my clients who need this same kind of work. Also, and we'll be talking about this more in the future, tomorrow, meaning in the next unit or the next lesson, resolving these traumas is going to help me develop my spiritual philosophy. We'll talk about that tomorrow in great detail, okay? And how does ignoring these traumas decrease your true authority? Here's a hint. Ignoring your traumas means you're not walking your talk. And so if you're a healer and a life coach and you don't heal and coach yourself, then you're not walking your own talk, and there's a level of inauthenticity and untrustworthiness that's there. Now, please notice, I need you to hear me. I need you to hear me well. You do not need to perfectly heal yourself in order to be a life coach and to be a healer. You do not need to be perfectly healed. You need to be willing to do work on yourself. That's all you need. Nobody's asking you, Spirit's not asking you to be perfect. Nobody's asking you to do that. We don't need you to be perfect. My favorite healers are so flawed. My favorite healers are really flawed, but they deliver on that magic. They deliver for themselves because they do the hard healing. They do the hard processes. They're going to take the ayahuasca and they're going to barf. They're going to do the frog poison, okay? And they're going to make themselves sick for days so that they can see, so that they can purge. They're going to do the shadow work. They're going to stay up all night nursing their inner child, even if they don't have an outcome of, oh, I'm perfectly healed, I'm over it, I've ascended. Okay, most of us don't get there. All right, but what we do get is relief, and we get a depth of understanding of ourselves and of other people. Our compassion skyrockets. Our ability to heal and to listen to spirit increases. Our intuition increases. Our understanding, our capacity to help other people increases as we do this work. And so it makes us very, very, very valuable. All right. Okay, that's it. I'm done. That's our work for today. I hope you are enjoying this process. I hope that you are learning a lot and you understand the importance of alchemizing your pain and using your pain in a way that increases your own power and your ability to deliver for yourself. Okay. All right. That's all I have to say. Just going to hop over here and check on Facebook. It looks like we're good. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you for watching. And I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, baby. Have a wonderful night. I'm kind of tired. We just changed our clocks back to like for daylight savings time. We just did that yesterday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'm feeling it. So I'm probably going to end up going to bed at 7:30 tonight. That's okay. I like that. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.